Everybody's talking about improving creative operations on Meta ads post Andromeda and needing more creative variations, higher quality. But what no one is really talking about is equally important. Now that you're producing all these ads, you need to maintain those ads as well. You need to optimize those ads faster and more frequently in order to combat ad fatigue and make sure that all the volume that you're producing is actually getting maintained and scaled depending on how it works, which is why I believe ad automation is not going to be an optional thing in 2026 and beyond if you really want to scale Meta ads at a high level. In today's video, I want to walk you through some automated workflows that you can use to combat ad fatigue proactively as you scale your Meta ads. If you're new to the channel, I'm Silvio Perez. I'm the founder of AdConversion. We teach 9,000 plus B2B marketers how to master ads, and we manage over $3 million a month in ad spend for top B2B SaaS brands. Everything I'm talking about today is from my experience in our ad agency working with clients. So in order to set up this automation, we're going to be using Sammy. Sammy is an ad automation platform that we created out of desperation because we needed a way to more proactively scale our team's bandwidth and get better results for our clients. So using Sammy, we can create workflows to optimize performance, manage budgets, or even monitor KPIs across Google, LinkedIn, and Meta. And the other really cool thing about Sammy is because we're integrated with Slack, we can set up these workflows and then get notified in Slack where we operate on all of the activities of the automations we set up. So inside of Sammy, I'm going to go ahead and create a new workflow, or SAM as we call it. And we're going to use this template on ad fatigue that we have here in Sammy to do this really easily. And what this is going to do, it's going to notify us when our ads start to fatigue on LinkedIn or Meta. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to focus on Meta. And I'm now going to just go ahead and modify my rule. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select my customer account once I've integrated my Meta ads account. And what we have here is we have a rule based on frequency and click-through rate. And I think a lot of times people overcomplicate ad fatigue. They kind of think of it in this like theoretical boogeyman type way where they're not really sure if it's happening or when it's going to happen. And fundamentally, ad fatigue means that more people are seeing your ads, but they're not engaging anymore. And because they stop engaging over time, because they've continued to see the same ads and they've lost interest, they're not taking the actions you care about, which results in higher CPAs, lower conversions, worse conversion rates. So when you break that down into a math formula, it's basically frequency is greater than X and click-through rate is less than your average click-through rate. And the reason why we focus on frequency and CTR is because if we can get ahead of that first, hopefully we can catch it soon enough so that it doesn't start to negatively impact our conversions, CPA, and our conversion rates as best as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select the campaigns that we want to apply to our rule here. I'm going to go ahead and select all of these campaigns for the sake of demonstration. So in this case, my 25 campaigns, all the existing ads in these 25 campaigns, Sammy is going to check them once per week. I can switch the frequency to be as quick as every single hour, but I think once per week is a good starting point. And we're going to run it on a Sunday. And what this is going to do is over the last 90 days, Sammy is going to look at all of my ads in those 25 campaigns, and it's going to look and see, is the frequency greater than my target? And if the click-through rate is less than the average click-through rate over that 90-day time frame. And I can switch the time frame as well if I want to be a bit more aggressive. I can shorten the duration so that way it's looking over a shorter time frame. But generally speaking, if you're a smaller account, 90 days is okay. And for the frequency target, this is really going to vary based on you and your account and your performance. Obviously, depending on the audience, frequency tolerances will vary. Remarketing, you'll usually accept a higher frequency, prospecting, a lower frequency. So what you can do is you could duplicate this entire workflow for remarketing specifically versus prospecting, or even different segmentations depending on how you have your account structured. You could have workflows based on the sets of campaigns and the audiences they represent. So in my case, I'm just going to let it be frequency greater than 7, click-through rate less than my average. And last but not least is I'm going to go ahead and enable Slack notifications so that now this is where I can live my life. I can go in my meetings, talk to my clients, do my work. I set this up once, it's running in the background for me, and then it's surfacing to me directly in Slack when it's time to make the necessary changes, right? So in this case, we have a default template here. You can fully adjust the template as you see fit. You can remove the text. You can add in different variables if you want different information. And what you can do is you can select the Slack channel where you want to get notified. So now when frequency is greater than 7 and CTR is less than your average, for these ads, once it happens, you're notified. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And now I would just publish this SAM. And just like that, now I'm using automation. So imagine in this case, we're talking about 25 campaigns and all of the ads inside of those 25 campaigns. Imagine when now you're doing 50 campaigns, 100 campaigns, each campaign has multiple ad sets, multiple ads per ad set. Things get really complicated and they scale really quickly. So this is a way where you can use automation to just proactively combat ad fatigue. If you want to try out Sammy, you can go ahead and go to sammy.bot and you can build your first automation. We have a 100% free trial. And you can use this and start putting this into practice so that you can use automation to scale more aggressively in 2026. I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.